Today we're going to make a very, very nice gluten-free, paleo, vegan, organic, keto-friendly German-style bread. Fantastic. You won't find it anywhere else. So here's how it goes. So I start with 3 cups of almond flour. I'm going to make 2 loaves. Put this into the mixing bowl. Okay. That's the almond flour. Then we put in 3 cups of arrowroot. So arrowroot and almond the same amount. All right. There's 1. Oh. That's what happens with arrowroot. It's such a fine powder, it just blows everywhere. 2. 3. So that's that. And this is why I wear my bib apron. Then we use coconut flour, 1 cup. Okay. Okay. Next, I like to use a little bit of buckwheat. Not much. Just a couple of tablespoons. That's all. But it adds a nice little flavor to it. Okay. So that's our basis. We're going to mix this up. We're going to add some spices. Make it a nice German spice bread. First we use salt. I like my breads a little saltier than some people. But let's figure 3 tablespoons of salt. Okay, there we go. All right, nice salt. Next, I have fennel seed. We put in 1 tablespoon of that. Cumin, a tablespoon of that. Good. Next, caraway. A tablespoon of that. Turmeric. This adds a nice little color, a little brown orange, and a nice flavor, but not a tablespoon. Probably 1 teaspoon. It's pretty potent. I think that's plenty. All right. Then we mix it up. You can mix it by hand. At this point, you could put it in the blender, let the blender mix it up. That's also workable. which we will now do. Careful when you start it, because of the arrowroot being so fine, it'll also tend to blow around until it gets mixed in well with the coconut and the almond. If it's on top, it blows everywhere. Okay. Great. Next, I want to heat up some water for the yeast water. This is going to be nice clean water. We're going to need 3 cups altogether. And we need to heat this up to about 110 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll get on my baking thermometer so that we can check the water when it's ready. In the meantime, while that water is heating, we're going to prepare the yeast. We'll get some dry yeast. We need 2 tablespoons of yeast. And mixed with that is some maple syrup. And this will give the little bit of sugar that yeast needs in order to do its magic. Similarly, we do 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. Also a lovely flavor. Nice, robust flavor. Okay. So we get that all mixed up. So the yeast and the maple syrup were all kind of in a goo gum at the bottom here. And when we add that warm water to it, it gets nice and bubbly. So I'm testing the water. Okay, now we've got it. So actually, probably so the bread's not too wet. Let's put in 2 3/4. Cut it back about almost 10%. That actually makes it better. So we stir that up. And then we give that 10 minutes to just bubble away. So I'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, we're back. 10 minutes have passed. Our yeast water is done, nice and bubbly here. Now what we want to do is add into this some ground chia seed mixed with psyllium husk powder. And what we need is 6 tablespoons of psyllium husk powder mixed with 3.5 tablespoons of ground chia. Come on. Oops. There's about 3.5. Close enough. So, let's mix that up nicely. Okay. Then we pour that into the yeast water. Give it a stir, get it nice and mixed. And let that sit for 3 minutes. Okay? So I'll be back in 3 minutes. Okay. So our 3 minutes are up. Our yeast water with the psyllium and such has become like jello. And this we're going to add to our dry ingredients mix. So I make room in the bowl, get it all the way down to the bottom, and then I pour it in. Blop. See? It all comes out clean. Amazing. So, we've got this mix all together. We're going to put it in the electric blender. First we have to change out our blade, put on the bread blades here. All right. Okay. And then we just mix it up until it's all well mixed. And this just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of work, but the machine helps a lot. Okay, now it's done mixing. So this is now done. Let's pull it out of here. I'm going to put this on some baking paper to form them and get them ready to just proof. Okay. So there's our wad. Let's cut this approximately in half. Okay. So we just hand form it. This is an artisan bread. We're not putting it in a metal form or plastic. Just going to roll it into a single loaf. Great. Set that aside. Do the next one. Go. Okay. Tighten them up nicely. Okay. One's a little bigger than the other, but that's what happens. Now, our breads, we always cut our logo, which is a K, into the top of the bread. There we are. Good. Okay. There they are. So now we're going to drop them in the oven just to warm them for a while. And what I do for this is I turn on the oven just briefly, a minute or two, just to warm it inside. And this gives a nice warm place for the bread to rise. So we'll just leave that for a second, then turn the heat off. Don't forget to turn it off. You don't want to bake them yet. And then we're going to let it sit and rise for an hour and a half. Okay, let's cancel the heating. Yeah, it's just a little bit warm in there. So now We'll set the timer for 90 minutes and we'll be back to finish this up and bake it in an hour and a half. That's it for now. So, an hour and a half has passed. Let's take a look and see how this bread has risen. Oh yeah, look at that. This is nice, huh? They've grown probably almost double in size. They should double in size. So, I'll make sure you get a nice close-up of this. So next, we need to preheat the oven for 500 degrees. That'll preheat. As soon as that's ready, we're going to put it in the oven for 35 minutes. Okay, our breads are ready to go in the oven. The oven is hot. It's been preheated to 500 degrees. We have put a baking stone in here. I've got a round baking stone. So we're going to put the breads on the baking stone, which has been preheated as well. And that goes in for 35 minutes. And after 35 minutes, we turn the oven down to 450 and let it bake for another 12 or 13 minutes. And then it's done. So pretty soon now. All right, so 35 minutes is up. Looking good. We're gonna turn this down to 450. And then we're going to set the timer for 12 more minutes, and then it's done. So I'll be back in 12 minutes. Okay, time's up. It's done. Oh, they're looking good. Here's the gloves. Cancel the oven. Let's pull them out. Take a look. Oh yeah, see? Look at that. Nice, huh? Sounds good. Should sound like a little bit of a drum. Nicely baked. 2 nice loaves of bread. So, there we have it. The Kampelstone Brot, homemade, artisan, German-style, keto-friendly, vegan, paleo, gluten-free bread.